Caitlin Clark brings it down, goes twice between her legs, step back jack. A'ja Wilson doesn't like that. A'ja Wilson isn't smart enough to understand that everybody's going to get fat because of Caitlin Clark. Everybody won't get fat if they keep bringing up the ridiculous, idiotic, and tired old notion of racism.
A'ja Wilson is out here demanding something so absurd, it wouldn't even make sense in her wildest delusions. A lifetime ban for Caitlin Clark? Really, A'ja? Is this about Clark being better than you? Or is it because she's single-handedly reviving a league that was on life support? Let's be honest, nobody even cared about your 3 MVPs before Clark showed up. Now, the only attention you're getting is for dragging her into some baseless, racially charged drama.
A'ja Wilson, who bitch, whined, and moaned, and continues to bitch, whine, and moan, that Caitlin Clark is only popular because she's white.
Like, how do you convince yourself that Clark's success is because of her race and not her insane skills? And as her star keeps rising, players like you, who can't handle someone else's shine, will only find themselves fading into irrelevance. Keep digging, A'ja, because that spotlight you're chasing is slipping further away.
It's noise that I don't really listen to, honestly, because I'm in season. I have other things that we need to worry about than what other people have to say. I have a scout, I have 11 other minds on my team and in my locker room that we got to make sure that we're on the same mindset. So I really can't give you the best answer on that because I really don't pay any attention to it. My goal is just to go out there and be the best that I can be for my teammates, both on and off the court, and we're going to go out there and be us.
So according to Wilson, it's because Clark has shown a lack of respect for the game and its pioneers, right? Because putting the Indiana Fever on her back, smashing records, and dragging the WNBA into the spotlight somehow equals disrespect. Let me guess, A'ja, is respect just code for stop being better than me? Because from where I'm sitting, Clark is doing more for the league than you ever could.
I feel like that college is one of those spaces where you got to win one for them to even have your name in the conversation. And it took me 3 years to win mine, so it's hard.
Yeah, that's actually what painting you. It took you 3 years. How come this white girl got it all in just a few months? A'ja Wilson is throwing a public tantrum, like she's been robbed of a participation trophy. It's almost impressive how someone so accomplished can manage to make themselves look so insecure. But hey, when you're overshadowed by a rookie like Caitlin Clark, I guess desperate times call for desperate whining.
Hey, look, we love Steph Curry as a black man because of how he plays. We don't give two craps about Steph Curry or Caitlin Clark being white, black, green, or purple. When in doubt, yell racism, and when in doubt, look stupid doing it. And the latest is this moron named A'ja Wilson. I think, talking about racism, it's a huge thing. I think a lot of people may say it's not about black and white, but to me it really is. Well, of course it is to you.
But apparently, Clark's brilliance is a little too bright for Wilson's liking. Instead of celebrating the league's growth or acknowledging how Clark's presence has brought in a whole new wave of fans, Wilson decided to cry foul. Her argument? Media bias. She claimed the attention Clark is getting is all about race. It's not about black and white, she says, but to me, it is. Oh, please, if that's the hill Wilson wants to die on, someone should hand her a shovel because she's digging her own grave. Clark isn't stealing headlines because she fits some mythical racial profile. She's earned every bit of it with her jaw-dropping performances. Maybe instead of playing the victim card, Wilson should focus on why Clark resonates with fans in a way she never has.
But I think sometimes we do play the race card too much. This ain't racial. This is about sports. This is about athletic ability. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at Caitlin Clark's game, who's very reminiscent of a Steph Curry based on her range and shooting the three, plus everything else she does.
And let's not ignore the elephant in the room, marketability. Clark's Nike deal, rumored to be worth $28 million, is a testament to her star power. She's relatable, exciting, and has the charisma that turns casual viewers into diehard fans. Wilson's Nike deal? Oh wait, she doesn't have one of those. Maybe instead of throwing shade at Clark, Wilson should ask herself why companies are falling over themselves to work with a rookie while she's stuck watching from the sidelines.
Is Caitlin Clark currently the face of the WNBA? Yes. Do I think if A'ja Wilson dropped a shoe and Caitlin Clark dropped a shoe today at the very same time, that Caitlin Clark would outsell A'ja's shoe by 100 times? Yes, I think that would be the case.
What makes this even sadder is that Wilson isn't just competing with Clark on the court. She's losing in the court of public opinion, too. Clark's story is the stuff of legends. A rookie transforming a failing franchise, breaking records left and right, and doing it all with an infectious energy that makes you want to root for her. Wilson, on the other hand, is giving off major, bitter has-been vibes. Her entire shtick right now is complaining about how unfair life is. Newsflash, Aja, life isn't fair, and neither is the spotlight. It shines where the action is, and right now, Clark is the main event. And let's not gloss over Wilson's other gems in this tirade. She went after Clark's on-court demeanor, calling her cocky and accusing her of being overhyped by the media. Oh, Aja, sweetie, that's not cockiness. It's confidence, and it's the reason people can't stop watching Clark play. Maybe if you had even a shred of that spark, you wouldn't be so busy throwing tantrums over who gets the most airtime. People don't tune in to watch mopey entitlement. They tune in for the fire, the attitude, the energy that Clark brings every single game. And remember when she said, "This year is more the year that I've seen anyone call my game boring than it's ever been." I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. The fan base is split on this because why wouldn't it be? Some are rallying behind Wilson, dragging in the ever-reliable argument of racial dynamics in sports. And yes, those conversations matter. But let's not kid ourselves. This isn't about race. This is about one player being so insecure about her fading relevance that she's grasping at straws to stay in the conversation. While Aja is out here throwing shade, Clark is letting her game do the talking, breaking records and pulling audiences. Meanwhile, Wilson's sitting on the sidelines, screaming into the void, hoping someone, anyone, takes her seriously. The WNBA, to its credit, has wisely chosen to stay out of this mess. No official statement, no acknowledgement of Wilson's suspension demand, just radio silence. And honestly, good on them. The league has bigger fish to fry, like expanding its reach and keeping up with the buzz Clark has single-handedly generated. If Wilson had any sense, she'd be focusing on the same thing instead of turning this into her own personal pity party.
Oh, Caitlin Clark, Dawn Staley, the great Dawn Staley, who I revere, by the way. But she was playing the way then, the way she's playing now. Well, wait a minute. You know she had the potential. You know, playing amongst other stars, with her marksmanship, she could have made big things happen. With her passing ability, she could have made things happen. Then she would have drawn excitement and eyeballs, and people the world over would have been watching her, which would have assisted in the elevation of the WNBA brand, which would have benefited everybody.
But let's be real. Aja Wilson isn't just salty. She's marinating in her own bitterness. Despite her MVP trophies and championship rings, she knows deep down that she's being eclipsed by a rookie. And that's what this is really about, isn't it? Clark has done what Wilson couldn't, capture the hearts of fans and dominate the cultural narrative. Sure, Wilson's stats are impressive. No one's taking that away from her. But stats don't make you the face of the league. Charisma and relatability do. And Clark has both in spades. Wilson's hypocrisy is almost too much to handle. Remember when she was the new star on the block, soaking up the media love, landing endorsement deals and basking in the limelight? Back then, she didn't seem to have any problems with how the system worked. But now that someone else is stealing her thunder, suddenly it's all unfair and biased? Please. If Wilson had any self-awareness, she'd see how ridiculous she looks. Instead, she's doubling down on the victim narrative, blaming everyone but herself for why the spotlight has shifted. The jealousy and racism from Wilson is unbelievable. There is no white privilege in basketball. Clark is popular because she isn't a narcissist and doesn't whine and cry and blame everything on somebody else. Let's not pretend Wilson's career has been perfect either. She's had her moments of brilliance, sure, but she's also had her fair share of flops. And instead of addressing those shortcomings, she's decided it's easier to paint Clark as the villain. It's honestly pathetic. Maybe instead of pointing fingers, Wilson should ask herself why fans connect with Clark on such a deep level. Spoiler alert, it's not because of some media conspiracy. It's because Clark delivers, on the court, in interviews, and with her sheer presence. Wilson had the perfect opportunity to rise above all this. She could have embraced Clark as the league's future, positioned herself as a mentor, and worked together to grow the WNBA. But no, Aja went full petty instead, turning what could have been a beautiful moment for the league into a circus. While Clark is out here elevating the game, Wilson is dragging it down with her drama and insecurities. At the end of the day, Aja Wilson needs to face the harsh reality. The world doesn't revolve around her. Caitlin Clark is the future, whether Wilson likes it or not. Instead of wasting energy on baseless suspension demands and pity parties, maybe Wilson should focus on her game, and dare I say, her attitude. Because right now, Clark is outshining her in every way that matters. And the more Wilson complains, the more obvious it becomes she's not mad at Clark. She's mad that she can't keep up. The worst part? Wilson's antics are doing more harm than good. Instead of uplifting the league and celebrating its rising stars, she's dragging it into the mud with her jealousy-fueled rants. It's a bad look for someone who's supposed to be a leader. If anything, she should be thanking Clark for revitalizing interest in the WNBA, not tearing her down. But no, Wilson's too busy wallowing in self-pity to see the bigger picture. So here's some free advice for A'ja Wilson. Stop embarrassing yourself. Take a step back, acknowledge Clark's talent, and maybe, just maybe, try to learn from her. Because right now, your legacy isn't just about your stats or your championships. It's about how you handle the spotlight when it's not all on you. And let me tell you, A'ja, you're not handling it well.